All right, Matt. I want to thank you for meeting with me today.
Yeah.
So the first kind of thing I wanted to ask you about, kind of talk to you about your upcoming lesson. So first things first, what is your lesson going to be?
We are doing an activity called a Foursquare vocabulary, which is what we like to do ahead of time with
Right.
new chapters, where there may be some unfamiliar vocabulary that we need to cover. It's a activity where they just do different ways of learning
Right.
the new term, the book definition, changing up into their own words, kind of putting some real world
Okay.
experience into it, kind of having that ownership of it.
Okay. So it's kind of just taking words, putting it into real world examples. You're, writing book definitions. You're drawing pictures. You're doing kind of stuff like that to where you can incorporate it into real world situations.
Exactly. So just the different, kind of the whole adage of you say something 3 times, it's
Yeah.
going to stick. Just different ways that they can kind of, have something that would
Okay.
make it more real life for them.
Awesome. And kind of what's going to be your objective for this lesson?
Objective for them to come out of the day having a better understanding of some new terms.
Right.
That will help them gain knowledge as we go, or help just more easily facilitate that learning as we go through the chapter.
Right. Okay. That's great. Yeah. New learning is always good. New words, all
Absolutely.
that good stuff. So as you're walking around the room, what do you want to see your students doing during this?
Having that good collaboration with their table mates and their partners, and bouncing ideas off one another,
Right.
and maybe if there's some gray areas on different things that maybe one student has a better understanding or more vivid real life experience
Mhm.
with what is going on. Maybe they can just help one another have that,
Right.
gain that greater understanding.
Right. So you're wanting to kind of them to work with each other, kind of bouncing real world activities off each other, stuff like that,
Exactly.
and that way they can kind of help themselves learn about it.
For sure.
Awesome. So as you envision this lesson, as you're thinking about kind of what's going on, what are you going to be doing during this lesson?
Up front, giving them the overall objective of, learning objective,
Mhm.
what they're expected to kind of be doing as the lesson goes on.
Right.
Do a good introduction, maybe do some examples for them,
Mhm.
show them what I'm looking for, and then after that, once I kind of set them free, moving around the room, helping them out if they have any questions, and just kind of, again, facilitating
Yeah.
what needs to be done throughout the day.
So you want to be walking around the room, facilitating, kind of encouraging that learning, but still giving them the student-centered learning type deal.
Absolutely.
Okay. So kind of how's your sequencing going to go for this lesson? So when you start this lesson off, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Again, give them that good overview, what's expected of them up front. Do maybe a few as a group,
Right.
so that they can, get what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
And then as we go through it, spend, maybe 5-10 minutes up front doing that, and then give them, 20 or so minutes to, work through however many we give them.
Yeah.
Maybe have different tables or different groupings have different words. That way at the end we can all kind of come through
Right.
and collaborate on them. And just kind of be there if they need it as we go through.
Mhm.
And then of course at the end kind of wrap everything up, have that good conclusion, or go through it with everybody, ask
Right.
questions, all that good types of stuff at the end before they leave for the day.
Right. So kind of your first thing you want to do, you're wanting to kind of explain this to them. You're wanting to do examples together, work together, stuff like that. Then as you go through the middle, you're wanting to kind of let them take ownership of it, working collaboratively. You're kind of just walking around facilitating stuff, and then at the end coming back together and then working together, kind of coming up with group discussion. What did you do? What did you do? Stuff like that.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that sounds really great. So the next thing is kind of, you're talking about this kind of stuff. How long do you want each of these little activities to start? So how long, are you going to explain stuff, then how long are you going to work, and then kind of that wrap up time?
In that normal, 45-minute class period, maybe give them earlier on when we first kind of do this earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Maybe spend some more time up front explaining and introducing the lesson and what
Right.
what I'm looking for, and then give them that 5-10 minutes at the end to kind of wrap up. So anywhere in between of that middle area of 20-25 minutes for work time.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I envision that going.
Okay. So you're wanting to kind of give about 25 minutes, and then probably 10 minutes on the front, and then 10 minutes on the back end to kind of just kind of come back together, stuff like that.
Right.
Awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah.
So as you continue through this, you're walking around the room, you're facilitating learning. What are you wanting to hear your students say to know that they're understanding, that they get why you're doing this activity?
That good academic vocabulary, them speaking in terms of what we may have already covered in class and how it kind of all wraps together. Listen to them tell their stories and their real world examples, or why they're drawing this picture, or why they changed it up into this definition, or what be. Just kind of have that ownership of learning is really what I'm looking for out of my students.
Yeah, so you're wanting that ownership of learning, like you said, so you're wanting to hear them kind of, oh, I get it. I understand why we're doing this. I get why I'm drawing a picture instead of just writing word definitions, stuff like that. So that's the kind of thing you're wanting to hear.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you tell me kind of some hopes for this lesson, kind of what you're hoping for to see?
Just hoping that my students kind of gain some ground up the hill of learning about our new chapter or our new topic or whatever it might be, and that they leave that day with a good base level of vocab and understanding of just certain terms and different topics that we may be covering throughout the chapter.
Awesome. So you're wanting them to kind of just get that base understanding, and kind of this is kind of an opener activity.
Exactly.
So as you're starting a new chapter or whatever, you're kind of going to use this Foursquare activity to kind of introduce the topics and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. What are some concerns that you have about this?
Maybe some kids not having a very good background knowledge about each one of the terms, or them just misunderstanding what I'm looking for. And that'll be just one of those things that we kind of correct or address whenever it comes time to the conclusion at the end, or me walking around. If I kind of see that they're struggling with one or two, just maybe spend some extra time on those, either the next class period or at the end of the day, just so that we have a kind of a ground floor where everybody's on the same page type deal.
Right, so you're just wanting to kind of reteach and all that stuff. That's the kind of thing you're looking for as far as concerns go. Awesome. So my kind of last question, finishing this up, if I were to come in there and I'm to see this lesson, what are the things you'd want me to see?
I'd want you to see my students taking ownership of their learning experience, me being a good facilitator of that learning, but letting them have the freedom to come up with their own answers, and using what they know in life and what they've been accustomed to, and things that they've come across that will help that kind of light bulb moment happen for them, and then just kind of seeing that progression through the lesson as we go through the day.
Right, so like you said, that light bulb moment, that's kind of why we got into this, so it's good stuff. So wanting to see those kids really starting to let that light bulb click on.
Right.
Awesome, Matt. Well, hey, I really appreciate it. I think
Not
it
a
sounds
problem.
like a great lesson.
Yes, sir.
Really looking forward to seeing it.
Awesome.
Thank you.